Alright. How's it going, people? How's it going in the chat? We got, who's in here? Jared Punch. I see Phil Jones. I see Bud. How are you guys doing today? I'm a few minutes late to the stream than I planned. I wanted it to go at like, I think it was, I said like 73 minutes, so it was going to go at like 4:15 where I was at. I think it's like started at like right on 4:20, so you know, it's about 5 minutes past when I initially wanted to start, but I mean, it's not a big deal. I do not think that's the case there, Sinbad. You might be wrong on that one, my guy. But how are you doing today, man? How's life for you? How are you holding up? How's everyone else doing today on this nice Saturday? Nicely in the afternoon, getting ready for chapters tomorrow. I'm pretty excited. Luckily, I don't think outside of Black Clover, like Black Clover, My Hero, and One Piece, I think are the only ones that I've looked at spoilers. So everything else, I have not looked at any form of spoilers for. So I'm excited to see how those go and see what exactly is going to be revealed tomorrow. And then tomorrow's also I'm going to be doing the regular chapter reviews for Mission Yozakura Family. So started on that, gonna be hype. New Dragon Ball movie. I wonder what it's gonna be about. I assume they're gonna make it canon, but I don't really know where it's gonna fit. And I wonder who it would be. I wonder who it's gonna set, because didn't they say it was gonna be like an already existent character? I figured after Broly, they're just gonna keep making movies with like non-canon characters that are popular, and then canonize them. So we might get Cooler in the next movie, or Janemba. I think Janemba would be pretty sick. Maybe Bojack. I don't really know. You start calling all your streams Rax Relax. It's a good name. I can't remember who came up with that. Someone said that, and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good name. What's up, Kill West? How are you doing? How would Natsu do using Soul Chain Deathmatch? I mean, it would literally just be a hand-to-hand combat match at that point. I mean, Natsu itself has hacks, but, like, not even counting that, just talking about, like, hand-to-hand combat. I mean, unfortunately for Magna can box, but, like, Natsu can throw all limbs. Like, he's going to be doing flips and shit, throwing kicks and whatnot. He's going to be moving. Let's see. In my opinion, Magna would probably be Natsu. No, he couldn't. You put him down to a hand-to-hand combat match? Like I said, Magna can throw hands. Like, Magna can box. Like, we saw in this chapter, you know, if you look at the spoilers. Like, he can fight. Like, but against Natsu, no. Natsu regularly, on a regular basis, fights all up close and does not care about it. Like, he's ready to do every single possible maneuver he can to land hits. Am I going to be a Cell movie? I don't want that. I really don't want them to bring Cell back, because that's one of the only things that I've been happy about in terms of Dragon Ball bringing back and reusing characters, is they haven't done anything with Cell. I don't really like what they did with Frieza, because Frieza, since his return, has been treated more kind of silly. Like, even in the Broly movie, he just was like a gag in a punching bag. Like, his whole thing of wanting to get, like, was it like a few centimeters taller, and then, like, when he tricked Broly to, like, go and fight the Saiyans, it felt like a Dennis the Menace scene. Like, I didn't really like that, so I'm hoping they leave Cell alone. Like, it was fine the way they did it with Boo, but, like, I really didn't like how they handled Frieza with it. I know a lot of people, like, Frieza's, like, the most popular Dragon Ball bad guy, so, like, bringing him back clearly, you know, made a lot of people happy, made a lot of people hype, but, like, I just don't like how he went from, like, who I would say was, like, the most intimidating Dragon Ball opponent, really, when you think about it. I'm not talking about, like, you know, the large-scale power levels, but at the time of Cell, Boo, Beerus, none of the guys had the same level of just presence and threatening aura that Frieza had. Let's see. Having a look at true potential. Wait, what? Having a look at true potential as of yet? I don't know what you mean by that. Look forward to next Mashal chapter. I am looking forward to the next Mashal chapter. It does look fun. I only saw like one panel. That's like it. I read One Piece, My Hero, and Black Clover chapters of French yesterday. French. Magnus says magic is a one-time only. I think he meant it more as like he can go into battle with it one time only. I don't think it's like he can only ever use it once. I would assume it'd be really weird if like he uses it in this fight and then never uses it again, and it's like he's unable to use it again. I think that'd be really weird, and it would feel at that point, it would feel kind of just like it'd just be like a little trick. It would be just a one-time thing to try and have him just exist in a scene. Like, you're just making stuff up so he can be in it. But him, like, the way that it's described, that he just needs prep time to do it. He can't do it in battle. It's something he has to kind of bring in. Similar to Zora's whole, like, reflective setup of his trap magic. Like, he goes into battle with that just set of traps on his body so he can reflect a spell if they ever get to him. That's how I would see it with Magna. He's not going to be able to really do it more than once per fight. Rex, glad to hear you again. My name is John, by the way. Well, it's good to... Oh, well, thank you for having me pronounce it. I was going to say Jan. But how are you doing today? You light the fire and destroy him with lightning. That's true, but I was talking more about, like, just a straight battle. Because the way that Magnus works, you know, it evens them out. So then it would just come down to specific skills, like, you know, if you had certain hacks and whatnot. And then on top of that, hand-to-hand combat or just combat in general. I mean, Natsu outclasses Magna heavy in terms of hand-to-hand combat. I don't think anybody's going to really argue that. Magna has technique, but, like, Natsu's a straight, like, martial arts brawler. He's just going to be going all in. I'm super excited for the Candy Flurry. I haven't looked at any spoilers for it, so I'm excited. I want to know what, like, when we start getting other members of the main cast. Because, like, I remember you were talking about if there were going to be more Sweet users in the main cast, which is one of the things I'm very intrigued to see, like, how it goes. Not only that, it's like, what powers does the mangaka, like, have planned to be, like, this is going to be my main cast of setup? I think Frieza's brother Cooler, because Frieza said in the last movie. Yeah, didn't he mention it? It's been a long time since I watched the Broly movie, but I vaguely remember him mentioning his brother. So I'll be really happy if we get Cooler. And especially if we can get that sick form Cooler has. Because that was the thing that I bumped my cat. She was walking over here. And she just was going behind me on my chair. One of the things about Super that I'm always kind of about is, like, they stopped doing transformations being, like, almost like a mini evolution. And keep doing, like, these recolors. And with Frieza, I was like, why did they make him gold when a power-up design already exists in, not canon, but in the franchise for the race? Like, you could have given him this really sick form, or just given him a new form. You know, maybe you tried to do, like, a different variation for Frieza. And I just was not a fan of him just changing colors. Whereas, like, I really like Cooler's, like, whole xenomorph frickin' setup. Like, I always thought that was really sick, the way that he's got, you know, he's got the, like, little mask on, he's got the sick spiked, again, almost xenomorph-like head. I always, like, that's been cool ever since I first saw it. Hope the new Dragon Ball gets Cooler. Yeah, Janemba also would be really sick, because I always like Janemba. He's like Kid Buu, where he doesn't have to really have much for dialogue or be like a complex bad guy. He's just a terrifyingly powerful monster. Super Saiyan 4 Broly, dude, I hope so bad Super Saiyan 4 will be added. And Super Saiyan 4 is my favorite of the Dragon Ball transformations. Oh, why are you just randomly putting full chapter spoilers in the chat? Don't do that. Like, if we're gonna talk about it, but don't just post it in there so somebody will end up reading it. So mad. I've already responded to this Natsu slander. You're always doing that, so luckily I don't take that seriously. Broly, yeah, Broly's just beating up on Frieza, and it was just like, man, they brought Frieza back just to kind of be like a meme and essentially be a measuring stick. Like, 'cause that's all he really did in the movie was just show, like, he's way more powerful than, like, Frieza and just wail on him. What's up, though, Gene? How's it going, man? How you doing? Here's an interesting question. I've been watching Dr. Bob. I have no idea what Dr. Bob is. What anime universe to be able to handle dangerous SCPs? I don't know. I don't even know how crazy it is. Like, I've seen, like, a random couple, but I don't know much about the lore. Frieza used to be so scary back in Namek. That's another thing. It's like, Frieza was one of those guys who's like let me finish this and I'll get to that super chat. Frieza was one of those guys who's like a staple character of like the whole series. Like, he has a long sense presence and existence within the story, like one of the most defining people in the series. And then they brought him back, which, like, I mean, it's Dragon Ball, like, the death isn't really that much of a big deal. And, oh, wait, I'm waiting for the audio to go by. But, they just brought him back, and it was just like, he just gets the shit kicked out of him. Thank you, though, for the $5 super chat. Anime fan 99 Hyrax, how are you doing? Can't wait to see what Selene will do when she gets serious against Suzaku next chapter. So much hype. I'm hoping she does, like, this massive array of, like, moon blasts with the moon all enlarged and close up. Just does some sick Death Star-like setup. Like the stream. Thank you very much, Gene. Gene's always being the good hype guy himself. Frieza used to be... Oh, wait, I read that one. Gurren Lagann, Maggie, and Kenny Fanboy. I've read... Or, I haven't finished, Magi, whatever, and I have finished Gurren Lagann, but I don't know what Kenny Fanboy is. Potential. Oh, I'll check that out sometime. I have the post still there. I just haven't really read it yet, but I'll get to it. I was like, Kenny Fanboy, what is it? I was like, oh, yeah, it's the dude in the chat. This is because he hasn't been here enough. I don't have his name as memorized. What's actually kind of funny is every time I see his post, I remember more from his avatar. I can't really see it, like, entirely on my screen, but every time I look at it, it just looks like a cat with antlers. I don't really know what it is. But I'll get to it, man. Don't worry. I've been distracted lately. I've been a bit busy. Sinbad pack hit different today. Sinbad packs are free. They're handing them out. What OP thing Zora gonna do? I'm really hoping that Zora, like, doesn't... Like, Zora I want to be like Magna, where he's mostly just... He has, like, a crazier set of traps. Like... Maybe he will have something kind of like, what's the thing? Like, I know a bunch of, you know, it's not like it's original to Boruto, but it's easy to describe from Boruto. Like the Jutsu scrolls. What if Zora can store set traps onto scrolls? So it's like he would come in, like, to the fight with a bunch of abilities prepped up. Because to me... That's what would make the most sense to upgrade him. The only other thing that I can think of off the top of my head was an idea I had a while back. Like, instead of reflecting, what if he had a trap that would absorb spells? Like, say he was fighting against Gaja. Gaja threw a lightning bolt at him, he absorbed it. And then it's like, during the fight, he absorbs a total of, like, 10 lightning bolts from Gaja. And then at one point, he can just unleash all of it. Like in just one big stored up unleashed attack kind of thing. Because that would be, to me at least, how Zora could have like a big finishing move. And it would be set in like strategic prep time and whatnot. Other than that, like I said, something like kind of like trap scrolls would be really cool. Cooler over Frieza, King Cold Shield. Kuriza isn't the Kuriza or whatever, isn't that like Frieza's son from like a game or like a spin-off or whatever? I don't remember who Chilled. Oh wait, Chilled was the other universe guy who's pretty much just like nicer Frieza. Tabata expanding the power system after this arc. I want him to add another power in, but like the thing is, if he does that, I don't know, like if he ends up just having us to deal with that as well the same way, it'd be kind of eh. I would hope that if he adds a fully new power system, then it wouldn't just like somehow fall under anti-magic. That would be what I'm hoping for, essentially. Did you hear that they're trying to cancel Nagatoro because she's tan? Yeah, they're goofy. I saw some people saying that there was like a picture of her where she wasn't tan, and people were trying to like act like it was like whitewashing, but it's like, you know that she's just tan. It's kind of like Ren in Blue Pegasus. He's not actually dark-skinned. He's just really tan. Let's see. Yeah, Frieza's son, dude. Sinbad picking on Jean now? Ooh, Sinbad, Jean's getting you. You better respond back, man. Watch them make a Naruto live action. Weren't they planning to do that? I hope they don't. Does Tartarus eat bread? He smells it. One of my cats always tries to eat bread. Tartarus, he's really weird because he's picky about a lot of the stuff he eats, but he has this deep love of these cat treats, which are supposed to, they're supposed to be for like dental treats. Like, have you ever seen the ones for dogs? You know, it's not supposed to be as like a good thing. It's just like it's like mints essentially for them instead. But it helps, you know, with their teeth. He loves those. He's a big fan. Like, I've tried to give him other treats. He doesn't really care, but those freaking dental treats, he's obsessed with. He'll come sprinting out if he hears me open the jar that I keep him in. Do you think Shura seriously wants to be Shiki's friend? He might like him. Shura, the thing about Shura is I'm pretty sure he views people based off status. So I think with like the same ether gear and like comparative strength, he probably thinks Shiki is worth actually giving the attention to. Because one of the reasons I think, at least, that Shura views people as essentially expendable objects is because of the way that he was raised with Nero. Because we know that Nero's not a nice guy. He's clearly not a nice person. He seems like he's not that bad, but he doesn't care about people at all. It's about his empire, and there's zero actual interest in the well-being of the people involved in it. It's almost like he's just trying to build up the structure of it, and I understand the idea of looking at it at the large scale, but obviously, like, it's not a good idea to like be a ruthless kind of ruler like that. It's a very quick way to destroy the trust of your people and have them turn on you. I think Gray will again only use the demon portion of his magic. I want to see it advanced. I think he's gonna use both, but it's like, oh, yeah, somebody subscribed. Thank you, Demon God Mitch. But he's gotta have an advanced version of just like his Ice Make or his Devil Slaying. Like, I'm fine with either. Definitely his Devil Slaying, rather, just because that's like the superior version of his magic. Like, Devil Slaying is just an outright better magic. So I would love to see that going on, and then it would go along with one of my beliefs that if Natsu's Etheria side progresses, Gray, I think, has to be strong enough to try and hold him down in case something goes wrong again, because Gray's the only one with the ability to really affect a demon of that caliber. Because the whole thing about Devil Slaying is like it gives them a significant boost against demons and devils, and it lets you counteract their abilities to a degree. So he's going to be a valuable asset to have if Natsu goes out of control. What rose gold is expensive than pale or black gold? What? I have no idea. I've never even heard of rose gold. I know about black gold. I've never heard of pale gold before. Or wait, what do you mean? What rose gold? Oh wait. I have no idea what you mean. I thought you were talking about just different kinds, because I know black gold is a thing. I still haven't finished, right? SMR arc yet? SMR arc. Oh, SRM arc. SRM. Man, I'm trying to remember what some of these mean. Let me see, though. Somebody will probably say something when I get lower in the comments. I looked at some of candy, so if giant pop rocks happen, it would be probably rupture. If there was giant pop rocks, I assume it would be at that scale. It would be like an explosive, which would be really cool. Give Magnus 6 months of training Marileona. Be a strong, not stronger than luck. I bet money on it. I don't know, because he doesn't have a lot of mana. That's the problem with him. Will Gray use Ice Shell for the 100th time? First off, Gray hasn't used Ice Shell that many times. He tries to use it twice. The third time, rather, which would be in between, because it'd be the second time in the story, he almost uses it, but it wasn't real. He tries to use it against Leon. He fakes using it against Silver, and then he tries to use it. Oh shit! I got a super chat. Oh, let me finish real quick. And then he tries to use it on Xerath. There's only really 2 times that he does it. You're looking goofy at this point, always trying to push stuff that is absolutely incorrect. Thank you, though, for the $5 super chat, Robert Clan. Subrax for getting Mission U as a core family review for this upcoming chapter tomorrow, or will that be coming out next Sunday? I'm going to do a chapter review tomorrow. So tomorrow it should be... It'll probably be Monday. It might be Monday, because tomorrow I'm probably going to do... I'm going to do Black Clover and Candy Flurry, and then depending on the chapter, Jujutsu Kaisen, because like Jujutsu Kaisen, if it's a hype chapter, I'll do it the same day, but if it's one of those like kind of calm and very text-heavy chapters, I'll probably wait and do it for Monday with Undead Unluck and Mission Yozakura Family. So it'll probably be on Monday, and if it's a really hype one, I might do it tomorrow. But there should be one for this upcoming chapter. Let me get back to some of the comments. There's Hashira. Wait, Hashira anime shit and candy manga. What do you mean? I don't even know what that means. Marileona would kill Magna. I mean, the thing is, like, Marileona training Magna, I think what would happen is Magna would probably get just an outright stronger body. I could see that happening, like Magna just gaining muscle mass, getting, like, a base level of durability higher without, not talking about, like, Monoskin, but just, like, having his, core body stronger. I don't think he could really get the same kind of caliber of training that Mereoleona gives herself, just by the nature of how powerful Mereoleona is, how much mana she has, like how exactly she's so powerful in terms of like her mana zone, the whole, you know, almost becoming one with mana thing. Just like it, I don't think it would really fit the same way, just based off of, you know, what we know about the two characters and how they function. 1 second. One second. I'm trying to respond to something. Okay, let me back to some of the comments. You think Shiki will go down a dark path? I think Shiki's gonna have like a mixed path back and forth, where we're gonna see those times he kind of delves darker, but for the most part, I'm hoping he stays mostly himself. Because my ideal idea for Shiki is he fights his opponents very aggressive and kind of like almost like a dark kind of setup, with, you know, his overdrive form looking very villain-like. If it's done in a way that people who don't know Shiki, like maybe, you know, somebody out in the cosmos, would think he's a villain. Like he almost acts like a villain to his enemies, and then, you know, people that would only know him by reputation would think that as well. But obviously, like Shiki, when it comes to his allies and people close to him, that he would, you know, be Shiki. I'm gonna have to make sure you get enough sleep. I didn't get that much sleep tonight, last night, but I'm gonna try and get some good sleep tonight. The only thing I gotta do after this is I'm gonna do a video on Sting, and I'm gonna try and upload that today. I'll try. Otherwise, it'll be sometime tomorrow or something. I'd like to get it done today, because mostly, like, it's mostly just gonna be getting the panels, and I gotta do a cool background and thumbnail version of Sting. So I gotta look for some panels to try and find like a really good one for him. I think I know what one I might want. I think I'm gonna use when he's charging up his Holy Nova. I always liked that pose. I always thought it looked really cool. And luckily for me, Sting isn't, you know, his design, it's mostly alterations in outfits. He doesn't like, he mostly looks the same. It's been, you know, he's only been in the series, like, timeline-wise for, what, like, a little over 2 years. But he mostly looks the same, that I can use, like, relatively any panel of him. It would just be different outfits. I'm glad. I didn't need, like, all his cool stuff to be, you know, before a time skip where he got, like, 6 inches tall or more jacked, a different hairstyle, and all these, you know, various things scattered throughout his character. Let's see. But I'll look at some other ones, because obviously I'm gonna peruse around to find some good panels for Sting. How much Dragon Quest would you recommend? I haven't watched the new one yet. Frieza to be able to endure Broly for an hour is pretty impressive. I mean, he's just punching him. Broly wasn't doing anything big. He's just smacking the shit out of him. Frieza wanted the Dragon Balls grow a few centimeters taller is relatable. Why doesn't he just grow taller? Why wouldn't he just want to get relatively taller? Or actually, if I was Frieza, I would wish everyone to be shorter, to be perfectly honest. I know the SCP, they're kind of crazy, because I know there's like a God one, and there's like Zeus, and there's like a bunch of hacks ones and time travelers or something. Watch the 4 Black Dragon Star Knights be Seiru, the edgy boy, Genbu, the hot MILF, and Byakko, the loli. If there's gonna be a small one, I think it's gonna be a Shota, just to be some little dude and be like an opponent for Wendy. Happy Mother's Day also. Yes, thank you for reminding me. I gotta call my mom tomorrow. No, it's tomorrow, Gene. Call your mom tomorrow. Well, actually, you still live at home, so tell your mom Happy Mother's Day tomorrow. Don't forget. Maggie's OP. Finish reading it. I'll read it at some point. I got to like the last arc when then like I'm trying to remember how it's pronounced, Sindria or whatever, like became like the Jetsons. I thought that was weird. The cat with antlers. I was right. Cool. Yeah, I'll read it at some point. Don't worry. I still see it there. I just haven't gotten to it yet. You don't have to get your mom anything, Gene. Just remember to say something. Be nice. That's ultimately what they want. You're a young lad. I'm sure she won't mind if you don't have a lot of money. I know it's not manga thing to do, but imagine Natsu being corrupted using fell flames. I don't know. Would they corrupt them? I don't know if they would corrupt them. I don't even know how he'd really respond to Fel Flames, because, like, Fel, like, absorbs life force and stuff. It would probably make him sick if he doesn't just convert it, or at least kind of, like, groggy, like when he ate, Black Flames. Not the Zancro Black Flames, but the Eclipse Leo Black Flames. I know that, like, bothered him for a little bit. Who would win a hand-to-hand combat, Rax or Jake Paul? I'm not a fighter. Like, he's like the dude just works out and, like, tries to punch people all the time. I'm not a fighter, I'm a friender. If I get prep time, I'll cheat. It's not a very fair fight. You gotta give me time to prepare. Give me, like, 30 years. Most overused name in anime, Zeros feels that way. Most overused? I only know a couple Zeros. I don't know, there'd probably be some Japanese name. Let's see. Zero was overused as fire powers in anime. I mean, I don't know that many. I know Luge. There's Zero of Erasion Seis. I don't know that many. Rax, what made you want to learn to make bread? What else can you cook? I've always just liked bread, and I wanted to learn how to just kind of make a couple things, and I was like, I'm gonna learn to make bread. I actually got upset when COVID happened and everybody was, like, deciding, like, I'm gonna get into, like, whatever. There was a bunch of people that got into bread, specifically sourdough, and I was like, damn it, because I thought I was doing something original, and I wasn't doing it to be trendy. I just wanted to learn how to make it. But luckily, from what I've seen, a majority of people quit, or I succeeded. I actually made some bread dough right before I came up here. I'm probably gonna cook it tomorrow. But outside of that, and I don't have a lot of skilled recipes. Like, there's a bunch of stuff I want to learn how to make. Like, I want to make curry bread, and I think there's a couple desserts I have lined up. But there's stuff I have on my list to eventually learn how to cook. But mostly I do kind of, like, easier stuff. I mean, nothing that crazy. Like, sometimes I'll make, like, buffalo chicken or curry or whatnot. Like, I don't do anything that wild. But I want to get better at cooking. I just want to be able to make my own food, essentially. And plus when you had, like, shortages of food and whatnot, like, you know, let's look at, like, COVID and stuff, and there were, like, massive amounts of just specific foods not at stores, especially perishables. It's good to have a couple skills. I was thinking about growing some stuff, too. Because I'm pretty sure, like, garlic is super easy to grow. And I don't know enough about it. I've never looked into it. But I've left garlic cloves in my fridge long enough that I'll come back and there's, like, the little green sprouts coming out of it. And I think you can literally just take garlic cloves and put them in, like, rich enough soil and it will just grow. I don't really know, though. I haven't looked into it, but it's on my list of, maybe. Can Mahito use his transfiguration on an Aetherius demon? I don't think so. I feel like that would just get him pissed off and then they'd kill him. It would probably go the ways of when he tried to do that to Sukuna. Because there's definitely, I would assume, a power level kind of thing in it, just by the way that it's a curse technique, and, like, theirs is all based off of their own power system. So if you've got more cursed energy, and whatever equalized energy for different series, it would be essentially the same thing. Like, if you tried to use it on, say, like, Zareth or something. I mean, Zareth wouldn't do anything. Zareth would just kind of clap him. But you know what I mean. I was trying to think of something off the top of my head, but, like, Natsu wouldn't work on him. I mean, he already has his own soul resistance and whatnot. Or if you tried to use it on, saw another person with soul resistance, like Escanor. I need Rex to make pita bread. The next bread I was thinking, well, it's not really the same thing, but a curry bread where you, like, I think you make it and then you put curry in it and you essentially seal it and deep fry it really quick. There's one that I want to learn how to make. Apparently it's super easy. It's like an Indian bread. And you essentially get it ready, and then you put it over, like, a flame, and it quickly, like, inflates like a balloon, and then you just kind of take it off, and then it deflates. And I don't remember what it's called. Somebody explain it to me, because there's a guy at my work that used to be a baker, and he was telling me about it. It was just, like, a super easy bread to eventually start up to add to my list. Or, like, rye bread, I think I want to put on there. Link Shura versus Shiki will have a second fight. Oh, absolutely. It'd be really weird if this wasn't the only if this was the only fight. What's up, though, Irene in July? How's it going? Man, it's almost... Actually, I didn't think about it. Irene in July in actual July. I better see you posting a lot of Irene content. I better see it. I better see you live up to the namesake. Garlic bread would taste so... So I've made garlic bread. I usually would just use my sourdough. Like, take a slice and then, you know, put butter and whatnot on it. And then shred some garlic or just use garlic powder and stuff. But I always put cheese on there, too. People in comic minds are still contemplating whether Selene's moon level. Selene was already casually moon level. And when we saw her get serious, she made the moon multiple fold larger. She casually made it much big. Well, not casually. She was, you know, when she started to get serious, just a passive ability made the moon grow multiple fold larger. Because the two options are she either pulled the moon down, which moving that much mass is ridiculous, or she made it so much larger that at that distance it looks as big as it does. So she's like, both of those things would make her well beyond moon level. Oh, Sasuke recovery mission. Oh, you're still there? That's still a good arc, man. You gotta get through there. It'll be fun in games till Rax gets a flashback of Quan, Josuke, and his cat. Next thing, like, Jake Paul got half his skull caved in. I just would be like, why am I here? I'd be really confused. I would probably, you know, he would put up hands, and I'd pull out a dual disc, and I'd send him to Shadow Realm. My soul's pitch black. Freeze in a nutshell. So, no, Freeze in a nutshell is cool at some point. Now silly. Hurts me. I think it upsets me primarily because in the games, usually when I wanted to play a bad guy, I'd play Frieza because I just liked Frieza's moveset, and then he comes back to be a bit silly. It's painful. Luckily, I haven't played any of the Dragon Ball fighting games in a long time. I was thinking about trying to get into a fighting game. I was thinking about maybe getting into the Power Rangers one, Battle for the Grid. Just because it looks good. It's got a bunch of characters I already like, and they update it pretty well, like pretty frequently. I might get it, but I know it's on the Switch. I think there's one for Steam too, but I don't really know. That's on my maybe list at some point. Maybe try and get good at a fighting game. I thought it was awesome that even after he gained Devil Slayer abilities, Greg kept his Ice Make. He essentially integrated his Ice Make into his Devil Slaying. Just by the nature of how he used it with his weapons and stuff. Like, he's pretty much using both. What candy would you like to see incorporated in Candy Flurry? I said I kind of want like a Fun Dip guy. I mentioned that last time. If you had something kind of like Fun Dip where it's just like a candy powder. But I think of someone like Agil or Crocodile or Gaara. You know, any of those guys, you know, manipulate sand, but with Fun Dip. I think that would be really cool. Or like Taffy, if you had something like that, like some weird stretchy ability. I'm trying to think of, or actually, well, I was starting to think of candies I like, but it's like, well, I have to think of like how would it be used combatively? How would you have a candy that's used combatively? Because I was gonna say like a sour candy, but I don't really know how it would really work. Oh, you know what'd be cool? Those sour straws. What if they had that, but they used them like whips? That'd be sick. Where it's just like, you know, you have these candy straws, but it's like you see one of them swing it, and then it just claps into a building, you know, rips open like steel beams and freaking concrete and stuff. That'd be really cool. Favorite arc in Naruto? My favorite arc, honestly, I think it might be the Sasuke recovery arc, like where they're just going after him. I've always thought that was really cool. We're actually trolling AOT fans last night was funny. People take me too seriously. I actually have one of my buddies is a big Attack on Titan fan, and I already told him, I'm like, just don't take me too seriously a lot of the time with this. I like it for banter. I mean, there's still stuff that I do think for sure about it. Like I thought, I won't go in much in description for anime only people, but some of the stuff that I just don't think was fully explained near the end. But like, I still like the ending. I'm not super hyped on Eren, but I do like him. I do question how quick he is to jump to high-end solutions for problems. But outside of that, you know, Smoogie and Lollipop. Why are you always hating on like Tonkachi is gone? Like the Build King is long over. It's been like what, like a month and change now. Let's see. I don't think it sucked. I thought it was fine. I didn't really have a problem with the ending. Like the only thing I would have personally changed. I would have had Gabby not make it in the end. I think when the heroes win, Ziggy will appear out of nowhere and wreck shit up. Well, I personally think it's going to be Ziggy versus Nero. Assuming Nero can fight and Nero's not just like a strategic guy. My soul's white because I drink bleach. Probably. Are you going to die epically from that? I don't know how epically that would be. The thing about that is, like, we'd find your body and you'd be like, there'd be vomit everywhere. It'd smell weird. It'd be a mix of bleach and throw up, so you wouldn't even know what's going on. You'd have, like, you know when you get soap in your eyes and stuff? It'd be all cracked and weird looking. You gotta get something cooler if you're gonna die. Like, fight a bear. I'm watching the rest of Jujutsu Kaisen anime next week. That's good. Those last couple episodes were moving so damn fast. How excited I feel about Magna being able to use his chain only once. Well, I mentioned that earlier. I don't think it's only once, like, ever. I think it's once per battle. It's the same thing as Zora's whole, like, body reflective spell. He has to prepare that in, like, beforehand. He can't do it on the fly. He has to prepare it before they go into battle, essentially. He has to get it ready. So I don't know. I think it will be weird if he never uses it again. But it makes sense if he can have this really OP ability, but it's something, like I said, he has to prepare beforehand. Once it's gone, it's gone. He's not going to be able to use it until, like, he gets enough rest time to go over and figure it out. And I know there was a whole thing that said, like, oh, it took 6 months. I don't think it took 6 months to prepare. I think it took 6 months to create. Think about it kind of like when... what's his name? Crap, how am I remember? Minato. When Minato created the Rasengan, was it 2 or 3 years? But it took way less time for Naruto to learn it. And the way that works, obviously, it's like creating something and figuring out is it's a way more difficult process. Think about, like, the first guy who invented a computer versus somebody who reads a book of, like, him explaining how it all comes to work. So the question would be, like, if Magna got out of this fight right now, how long would it actually take him now that he knows how to make the soul chain? How long would it take him to prepare another one? Would it take like an hour, 2 hours, a day, a week? Who knows? Knowing his gaming relented and not anime manga, but everyone here played Nier. I haven't played any of the Nier games yet, but I want to. Those are games that are on my list. My soul would be sea green. Oh, mine would be red. I'd probably pick like a really sick red, like maybe like a cinnabar. You think there are other forms from Overdrive? Well, I think Shiki's just isn't done. I think that's just kind of like partial stage in, kind of like Asta's Devil Union. We know it's not complete yet. Oh, your soul is oak. You know, oak's would it be like oak, like the raw color, or would it look like oak? The wood, like, you know, if somebody x-rayed you, it would literally just look like they're looking inside of a tree, because I think that'd be cooler. You know, you see all the rings on a tree and stuff. So make Shiki like Blackbeard. How would that make him like Blackbeard? Blackbeard's like a bad guy. Shiki, I don't want him to be a bad guy. When are you gonna try? How is it pronounced? Don. I'm going to read it soon. I was looking on the official app and I didn't see it, but I completely didn't really consider it being on any of the like fan translation sites, because I was like, oh, isn't it part of Shonen Jump? I would assume it's on their official app and stuff, but I guess not. So I've been meaning to. That's another one that's on my list. I might read it within the next week or two. I'm probably gonna let a couple more chapters stack up, because it's like what, 3 or 4 right now, I think. Is it 3 or 4 chapters, or is it more? I don't really know. I have to look into it. I remember at the time I learned about it, like, already being out, it was at 2 chapters, I believe. How'd you feel if Shiki was a human version of Ziggy? I've already mentioned that before. It would really depend on how it works with time travel and stuff. How strong do you think you and Shiki is going to be? Well, the problem is we don't really know what the ceiling power level wise of Eden Zero is going to be, so it's kind of hard to say. If we got to see, like, Xenolith in his prime, maybe a flashback going all out, because we saw him affect Forester, but if Forester isn't planet-sized, it's like 13 kilometers wide, which is like, I think it's like 7 miles, like 7 or 8 miles. Still big, still pretty big, but he's like island level. I mean, at least that for Shiki, because we don't know if he's going to get to a point where it's like It's kind of hard to say with a. I was gonna say compare them to like a chronophage, like parallels, but a chronophage isn't. The way that it works isn't really a power level thing. It's really just big, and then it has a hacks, and then it just kind of absorbs time within its mass. It's not the same as like. It doesn't even seem to like destroy anything. It just does its whole time eating thing. It kind of like wrap around planets. So I don't really know. But like Mother, depending on like if Mother like say. I don't think Mother is the size of Earth, like a planet. I remember somebody looked into how big she is, just based off of the dragon that flies near her, and I think it was like 400 or 500 kilometers tall or something. Might have been sitting though. She's still pretty big. She was like the size of a fairly well sized country. But I mean, obviously, like, there's not, like, the statements like, oh, she's bigger than any of the planets. So we don't know what the biggest planet in Eden Zero is yet. But I could easily see her be Earth-sized, but we'll see. But at the same time, it's like, would Shiki become more powerful than her? I don't really know. Will the Godslayer stop being fodder? Probably not. I always like the character discussion videos, even if I'm not particularly interested in the characters that much. Well, I'm going to do that Sting one tonight. What's up, JK and Eric? How's it going? My main character's little brother are Shota's, enough said. But a Shota is like... They're of legal age, but they look really young. So it's just gonna be like what, like 20-something-year-old like short dudes. Because like Shota and Loli's like they're not. It's not just being like at that age. Like Wendy isn't really a Loli. She's just really short. If she ever grows bigger, then she's gonna essentially be a Loli one day. She's not like, and Levy's not a Loli because Levy's actually like real person sized. She's not that small when you really look at her compared to a normal person. Like, she's probably like 5'2", 5'1", and she's actually pretty. She's got some curves and she's got some build. Let's see. Enemy's third line, God of War summon versus Caprico. Oh wait, what? No, wait, we're talking about. She gonna be universal, planetary last. I don't know about that, my guy. We'll see. Leopold. Oh, Leon versus Leopold. Like Leon like scales weird because he's in parts where you'd think he'd be somewhat comparable to the Gray in Alvarez, but I don't think so. Not like full Gray, but just kind of like a casual Gray. I think at the very best we can kind of look at him. Like, for sure, in being relatively close to, like, even Grand Magic Games Gray. And he should be somewhere, like, low Wizard Saint level at that time. Kind of like, just, like, near the edge. And I think that's more than enough to beat Leopold. At least current Leopold. The thing that Leopold has that Leon doesn't is... Leopold is actually going to get more stuff as we go. Like, we know that Tabata hasn't forgotten about Leopold. And... I mean, Mishima legitimately forgot who Leon was at one point. He's like Launch. So I would say Leon now. Like, it won't surprise me though if Leopold can beat him in the future. I mean, like even like comparing their movesets, like Leon still has some pretty fair durability and range. I mean, Leopold has AoE and he's got fire and whatnot, but I don't really see from any of his current feats being able to really do anything to Leon. Feel like a Black Clover X Fire Emblem fanfiction. I don't know really anything about Fire Emblem. That's another one of those games that it's been on my list, but I've never got to it. King Sinbad Universal from Planetary is a big lead. Yes. Would be a good plot. Who would do a crossover villain for Naruto Fairy Tail crossover? I don't know. Would it have to be some form of like, I don't know, just make him a dragon ninja. Just do that. Have somehow there's a dragon that like got corrupted with Biju chakra, and during the process of that, he gained somehow a compressed humanoid body and then became a ninja. I don't know. But something like that. Just think Dragon Ninja. Call it good there. Dragon Ninja. That's all we really require. How strong do you think Selene is? She's casually moon level. But I mean, Acnologia was already, like, Acnologia before the Space Between Time was already a world level threat. They already talked about how, like, he was a threat to the planet. Like, let me see more. So when you join the stream, like, wait, oh, you're talking about Sinbad. Sinbad never joins the streams. I wonder how powerful Shura is. I want to see what his overdrive looks like. That's the thing that, like, for me at most, of how it's gonna look, because they have the same ether gear, but it's like, is their overdrive set to the ether gear, or is it like a combination of both the user and the ether gear? How exactly is it going to differentiate, you know? It's a really it's one of those it's one of those early, like, I don't want to say early series, but kind of like early enough concepts in the power systems that, like, who really knows? Who really knows at this point? I mean, I guess other than Mishima. Rex, you played Mortal Kombat 11? Dude, I have played Mortal Kombat a couple of times, and every single time I play Mortal Kombat, it's with a guy who actually plays the game, and then they just beat the shit out of me because they don't let me learn how to play. Take advantage of my inexperience with them. Like, most of the fighting games I played were, like, the Dragon Ball ones. That's why I said, like, I want to get good at a fighting game. At some point, I really want to get into one. And I was thinking the Power Rangers fighting game, because I played it somewhat already. I played the phone one, but I stopped playing it because, man, those microtransaction games get me. Like, for real. That's why I had to stop. Those games are dangerous for individuals like me. I can, you know, oh, whatever, $2. And then I realized, like, by the end of it, that I've spent, like, $50, $80 a week on small microtransactions that stack up. So I had to stop. I have it for the Switch, but I haven't played it in a while. There wasn't a lot of characters when it first came out, but I don't know how many there actually are right now. Let me look this up. Let me look this up right now. A battle for the grid characters. So I remember I was super hyped when this game came out, but I wanted to wait until there are more people, and it has, okay, there's man, there's no, wait, actually no, there's an arrow window. There's a couple more characters than when the game came out, but it's got one of my favorites. When they added Lord Zed, that was when I was super hyped, because these was just one of my favorites in general, and they got freaking, I mean, it's Triphoria, but at the same time I wish it was Jason. Either way, actually I wouldn't want to look in to see the last time they made DLC for this game, because I don't remember the last time I heard anything about it. So I follow the game like the game accounts on Twitter, but I haven't seen anything for it in a bit. But I guess I don't really know how often they even release DLC. It's not going to be as much as, like, the phone game. Let's see. You saw Eden Zero new episode today. I only saw the clip. I'm going to watch all of the Eden Zero anime all at once. I want to watch it all together, because it's like I already obviously know what happens, and I already know the hype clips are going to show up on Twitter. When they're all collective and I can watch them on, like, a official site with, like, HD and, like, looking as crisp as it can be, then I'm going to watch it then. I was really happy because I saw the scene with Sibber, and, like, the CGI of his mech actually looked good. I was surprised. Like, I didn't know what they were going to do entirely for the mechs and machines, but, like, it actually looked good. Shiki and S are going to be OP. Yeah, of course. Racer's OP. I want to know still, like, what the, like, description, like, how exactly his erasing powers work and stuff. Because I don't think it's as straight, all out, like, he just, you know, nope, gone. There has to be, I have to do X or Y, or, like, it only works on, you know, certain people. I assume it doesn't work on, like, ether level, like, people with ether levels higher than him. I would assume that would just make sense to me. Otherwise, like, what's stopping him from just erasing any of the Galactica? So, there's going to be a bit of weight on that one. I did see in the spoiler picture, I haven't looked exactly on entirely what happens in the next chapter, but it did look like he was tired after doing that. So, it's not like he can use this powered up form regularly. That's at least something. Something at least for his, for his moveset. One day Rax will be able to make soup. I mean, soup? I was gonna say, like, I can make soup, but it's like, I open a can and I put it in a freaking saucepan or whatever. I just see Jean and Sinbad, get mad at each other. We live in a world where One Piece and Shaman King have better animation than My Hero. I mean, My Hero's animation right now, they're in the 1A versus 1B arc, aren't they? That's not really a hype arc. I know, like, they're going to probably go crazy when it comes to Bakugo, and they're going to go crazy when it comes to Deku and stuff. But other than that, it's just, like, I don't really care. The only parts I would want to watch is, like, was it the first? I think the first round, it's got, like, Sue and, the Bigfoot guy. And I think the mushroom chick. Like, I remember when those chapters were coming out, I liked the first 2 rounds. But then it was Todoroki. I thought his new move was pretty lame. Like, I thought he was going to have, like, this sick new technique where it was going to be, like, either he was going to do, what's that, prominence burn with either doing the normal, like, big fiery, chest beam and then have ice around him to keep him cool, because we know how, he has to be able to regulate his body temperature, and that's one of the reasons, the Endeavor went through the whole process of having this fire ice baby. Or reversed, where he makes fire around him, and then he shoots a big, cold beam. But instead it was just, like, his hair got a little wavy. That's it. Also, we're, almost an hour into the stream. I'd really appreciate it. Got 26 people. If we can thumbs up the stream, befriend that thumbs up button, the like button, subscribe button if you haven't. And tell me exactly, I guess relatively anything in the comments. Either way, like the stream, would appreciate it. Jean versus Sinbad, buy your tickets. Dude, they're going at it. How do you think Viernes will appear in the manga? I personally think that they're not going to find out anything about Viernes except if it's from Selene. Because Selene so far has known about the other dragons. She just knew Kurenugi by name. And, well, not even by name, rather. She heard, like, the name of his style and, like, the whole Sword Saint dragon. So clearly she knows people and things. She's very knowledgeable. So I assume that she knows about Viernes. Let's see. Trying to throw garlic from seed and from bulk. The shooters are out and it grows easy. That's it. I want to get... I could see just having a potted plant with, like, some, garlic in my kitchen or something. Just kind of hanging out. And it's just, like, every once in a while I can pull a clove of garlic out of there. Speaking of animation, Seven Deadly Sins is hilariously bad. Yeah, man, I feel bad for him. I'm really hoping that if they ever do a Fortnite to the Apocalypse anime, they get away from whatever studio is butchering Seven Deadly Sins. Like, it looks unfortunate. Let's see. Rebecca is going to be the most OP character in Eden Zero by the end of the series. Yeah, she's gonna have time jumps. Hers is going to be very curious. Like, I'm going to be very curious as to how hers is going to be by the end. Because her ability is OP. And we know, like, she can do time travel stuff. She's already demonstrated that she can do, was it, like, 2? Was it, I think it was after 2. It, like, messed with her head. I don't think it was just limited to 1. Or at least within, like, a short period of time. That she can do her whole, leap back ability. But I'm actually really curious if she can just further increase her speed through time dilation, kind of like is it reverse flash or zoom? I think it's zoom. I don't remember off the top of my head. Zero anime has been fantastic so far. It's gonna get crazy when they get to Drac and Joe stuff next season. I can't wait to see when they get to showing Shiki's, like, pseudo overdrive, like with the ether lines, that kind of halfway point, because that one's gonna be super cool when he uses Gravity Comet on like the Parasite LC. No clapping in Zero Crew. I mean, no, it's faster. In a straight fight, I don't think she could, like, in a straight fight, like, equalize speed, because Eden Zero doesn't have a whole lot of speed feats right now. But put her against Witch. Witch can just freeze her. Witch has multiple elements. And she has, I mean, she's got all of them. She can use electricity. She can just switch all between all of them. 1 acre of corn today spent around 140 on corn. 10 by 10 and dusted chicken litter. Now we wait. How long does it usually take for corn to grow? Because we should be able to cut the moon. He's not going to cut the moon. He can cut moon beams. I don't see him cutting the moon. I'd be very impressed if he could do that, but I don't see it happening. The difference between a meteor... The meteor that Urza cut wasn't even that big. It was just really fast. The difference between that... Go look at the size of, like, what the moon is actually compared to Earth. And then the meteor compared to Urza. The meteor, when Urza ran, it was like probably the size of like a decent sized house, probably a little bit bigger. A moon is like, at least the moon, the one that's usually kind of like, used as the idea for, what would be moon, like grounded moon level, is absurdly bigger. Also, it makes me wonder what will Winnie's advanced magic be. I'm just hoping for, more like just raw enchantments, healing, and then if she can do better wind manipulation, kind of like when Irene took over her body and just like straight flight and levitate things. Well, not levitate, but essentially the same thing, but using wind manipulation. I'm trying to get to filler arcs with Anata. I want to skip to the good parts. I don't care about Choji. Choji's cool. No, Choji's cool. Choji's definitely one of the ones where it's cool for anime-only stuff. I don't care if time for J-Cloud boyfriend right now. You're getting a Gene real aggressive. New different types of gear in Eden Zero. Do you mean just like new ether gears, or do you mean something like essentially the same concept of ether gear but different? Because I'm wondering if there's going to be ever something that is essentially a more modern version of ether gear, or if ether gear itself is just going to be its own thing. Ziggy's will be a better villain than Zeref down the road. I doubt that. I honestly don't see that happening. Like, Zeref is like Mishima's masterpiece character. Just still on Choji's fight with, what is that guy's name? The big dude, the growy sized guy. I love that fight. That was probably one of my favorites. Like, that was such a badass fight. Or no, Choji got big against that guy. That guy was just physically strong. I was thinking it different because I remember Choji becomes giant and the dude just lifts him. That part was so cool. Like, that's one of the things I really liked about that arc, but it was like one of the more upsetting parts for Naruto after the time skip. Is like a lot of the characters didn't get the attention they needed to get. Like Shikamaru got some, but like Choji, Kiba, Neji, Rock Lee, they all got shafted. Let's see. Gray is fodder. No, he's not. I will not tolerate Gray slander. There's Sinbad. You think Baron Naruto can take on Alderaan? I mean, he's got raw power to do it, but I don't think he can handle the hacks. Because, like, you get Doom's spores on you, or you get gears to pretty much stop Naruto's ability to think and, like, process time. That's GG. And, really, outside of physical strength, Baryon mode didn't do anything. It was just this pretty much mega mode for him. And it's limited in time, and after it runs out, he's GG. Like, he's not going to be able to use it ever again. That's another thing as well on top of that. It's like he's limited on time. He's only got a short piece. Lucy beating Gray? I don't think so. If I had candy powers, I just want to splash racks with burning hot chocolate. I still think the hot chocolate one would be cool. Rolling Phantom's funny, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it does get funny fun sometimes. Talking about My Little Pony, Kenny. I do not. He's a fan of My Little Pony. Disavow. Lucy's better wife than Noelle. Changed her mind. I mean, yeah, like a good bit of backup for that is when Lucy went over to Natsu's house and then just kind of cleaned up. Quality pick right there. Let me see. Build King is gone forever. I know. Unfortunately, I lost Build King. Never gonna get it back. There's always the maybe one day they'll make it a digital only release, but I doubt it. Jura versus Fuego Leon. That's actually a good fight because Fuego doesn't really have hacks, and neither does Jura. And Jura never got any of like the crazy power up kind of like upgrades that a lot of the other characters got in Alvarez. Like, he relatively stayed the same level that he was at. So and I would say like most of the Wizard Saints, something about like God Serene and stuff, would be comparable to the captains. So Jura would actually be a really good setup right there. Personally, I can see that at least currently going either way. It'll probably be Fuego Leon in the long run, unless he like dies before he gets any more upgrades. Otherwise, I could see that fight kind of going either way, because Jura's whole condensed, hardened rock, and obviously his way more physical strength, and that would be one of the big factors for their fight. You have him just being so much physically stronger than Fuego that it would just be it would be a danger if he even got close to him. Because the thing is, the way that Monoskin, and Black Clover character durability works, it goes against magical attacks. Like outright physical attacks aren't gonna be blocked the same. Let's see. Are people talking about Wendy being a dragon only? You guys are being strange. Fairy Heart Zeref versus Weakened Godstraight Alderon. I mean, at that point, Zeref should just be able just to go back in time and then just undo the sealing, or prevent him from getting up, and then just leave him sealed, and then he wins by default. If I get a job in Super Chat, someone $100 on my debit card, will I have to pay fees? Does anyone know? I think it's just if you Super Chat, it's just the amount you pay. The thing though with YouTube is they take a third. I was talking to some of the guys earlier. Like, I want to switch more to kind of using Streamlabs, because Streamlabs, you get like the full amount. You just pay, I think it's like $5 a month to use their service. Whereas YouTube takes a third of the Super Chat money that that people donate to you. Favorite transformation of all time? Singular transformation or like transformation form? Because if I had to pick a power-up form, I would pick Dragon Force, because I like that Dragon Force is a power-up that goes across all types of Dragon Slayers, and they all have their own perks and abilities and stuff. It's kind of like Overdrive with, obviously with Ether Gear. The only difference, like, really come down to it for me is, one is about centered around sick dragon wizards, which, beats Ether Gear, in my opinion, at least, for what I like. Obviously, some people might pick Ether Gear over Dragon Slaying Magic, but not me. Let's see. If I was Aaron, I would kill Gabby. I was always wondering how could they have let Gabby live. What was my favorite Drac and Joe moment? I really like when Drac and Joe was just standing in front of Shiki in World 29, where he's just standing in that kind of like dark underground area. It just felt like one of those scenes in like a mob movie where they like take somebody out near the docks at night or something because they're gonna kill them or whatnot. I think stuff like that was pretty sick, and it really built on his whole like his whole setup of being like a galactic crime lord. No. Don't worry. You'll be good, Kenny boy. Let me see. What if your next protagonist has Jalal such? That would be neat. That would actually be really cool. I would be very curious as to how he's going to integrate it in his next story, because there's always going to be, though, the weird eye-marked people in his works. The question is, how would it really build their characters? I'd be curious to know if, like, what if he made the next eye-marked person a chick? Not like Elsie, but like a female of the, like the C, Jalal, Justice, Mystigan line. I don't really know. It would really just depend, I guess, on what his plans are in that series. Or if he made one like an old man, where it's like one of them later on in his life. That'd be pretty sick. Goku walks into a children's hospital because he heard a kid has the power of astrological sign. I don't even know what that means. Let's see. You think Superman could survive a chronophage? Superman? I don't think Superman is resistant to time abilities, is he? I don't think so. I think hacks like that would work on Superman, but I'd have to look. So I know he ages. Let's see. I'm just looking at some of these random ones. There's the Natsu versus Shiki with a gun. What are you even talking about? I don't even understand that one. Natsu, like, bullets aren't going to work. People have tried to shoot him before. Natsu was shot in the mouth early on in the series and, just caused a little bit of blood. Gildarts versus Yami. Gildarts will clap Yami so quick. Not even current Gildarts. Look at Sirius Island. Sirius Island Gildarts. Casually. Like, he just went under Blue Note's gravity. And that's while recovering from losing an arm and a leg and internal organs. Yami knew without Black Moon, he wouldn't have been able to really stick around and fight Dante under his enhanced gravity. Gildarts would just walk under there. On top of that, like, he could just break every spell Yami has. He's physically way stronger. If he disassembles him at all, then he's gone. If he even disassembles his sword, then he wins. There's a big gap for that. You would have to get, like, a way earlier Laxus, maybe, to fight Yami instead. Which is actually funny, because when you think Yami and Guild Arts, I would have said, like, I would have thought that at one point, too, because I would be comparing kind of, like, their positions in the series, but also age. But I forget that Yami's not old. Yami's, like, what, like, 28, 27? Guild Arts is in his, like, late 40s. So it'd be more going toward Guild Arts versus Julius, but I mean, Guild Arts gonna be clapping him too. Every single little time spell he throws is getting crumbled. It's getting crushed. Episode 1 Natsu is only city level. Episode 1 Natsu is not city level. He's like city block level. Like he broke up some buildings. Like he didn't destroy Harjion. He just wrecked up the place. Gray surpassed Leon ages ago. I mean, in the Grand Magic games, and then at least in some parts, he seems like he can keep up with Gray. He's not on level with Gray, but he's at least able to contend with him to a degree. Gray can move his ice. What do you mean? Gray did you not watch or read the fight against Silver when Silver attacked one of Gray's, like, attack what he thought was Gray, but it was actually just an ice clone? Gray just can't do it the same way that Leon has, because Leon's is dynamic ice make and Gray's is static ice make. There's just two different kinds. Sure looks horrible with green hair. I actually like it. He makes me think of like some weird Joker. Leon ice make is colder than Gray. No, absolutely not. Gray has way better temperature feats of terms of cold, like freezing air. Like even back in, look at like Sirius Island, freezing blood. And then he froze air. Like, he can freeze wind. I talked about that in a video the other day. It's like, it's like negative 300 and something degrees or something crazy. Strongest character Gojo can beat in Fairy Tail? Well, he's too slow. He can't, like, like, anybody who really hacks would beat him. Anybody with, like, some good hacks would beat him just because he's also really slow. Just found out Lord Zed is from Power Rangers. I haven't seen it shown yet. Dude, Lord Zed is cool. Especially when he first showed up, he was way darker, way more aggressive. But from what the guy who voice acted him said is they got a bunch of calls from parents that were scared of Lord Zed because they made him too intimidating. That's why he gets a little sillier in the show after, like, the first chunk that he's in. And in the comics, they keep him way more towards that, like, aggressive side of his, like, where he's this galactic tyrant. Because in the comics, they show when he met Goldar, and Goldar had a brother. I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head. But his brother tried to speak out against Zed. And Lord Zed just killed him right there. Like, he just murdered his ass, like, right in front of Goldar. I think it's like Goldar's brother was similar to him, but he had like a silver armor set or something. I don't remember. It's been a couple years since I read that comic. But he got really mad because the dude tried to like bait him into something about Dark Spectre, and I'm happy they made Dark Spectre more of like an adversary of Zed in the comics, where in the show he's like, they made him like a minion of Dark Spectre. And I was always just like, man, they're doing my boy dirty. What studio doing Eden Zero? JC Staff, or whatever they're called. I don't remember exactly what the naming for them is. Shure's one of the strongest characters in the series so far. I mean, yeah, he bodied one of the oceans. Kind of hard to say, just because Psycho wasn't prepped. Like, he didn't know what was gonna happen. But I would assume that in a 1v1, Shura can beat any of the oceans. I would at least assume. It'd be a little weird if he was weaker than any of them, especially after being set up to fight the main character. It'd be very strange if he was weaker than him, or weaker than the oceans rather. Selene still needs more feats. He strikes her moonlight flames. I mean, him cutting her moonlight flames didn't mean anything, because she just turned it to a different attack. Cool, you cut it. Cool. She still did way more damage. Look at like her versus him from the damage. He's got all these scrapes and cuts on him. She has like a small cut on her cheek. Let's see. How might Fairy Tail react to sexy jutsu? I don't think they would really care that much outside of just general kind of lewd reactions. I don't think it would do a whole lot. I mean, they already got battered chicks in their guild. I wonder if Shiki can master more Satan Gravity Ether Gear. I mean, he's already got the one. He doesn't need more Ether Gears. Selene is already moon level bare minimum. Yeah, I mean, she's already more than that for making the moon larger. Because that means, like, if she made it multiple fold larger, that means that what she just did is multiple times the size and mass of the moon. So it'd be multiple times moon level. It'd be like, probably like small planet level. At the very least of her just getting ready. Dante got clapped by Magna. He's not even done. People gotta stop acting like a character getting a punch means clapped, or that character took an L. It's like, no, this got a punch. The only reason people think they would consider Dante getting punched as like an L or getting clapped is because that's how the chapters end. Do you really think Dante is defeated? It'd be really unfortunate if Dante is beaten after like the way that he was brought in, established. He's one of the most hyped characters in the series and fights. He's extremely interesting. He's got a sick design. Let me see. Julius Blizzard's Guild Arts? No, he won't. Julius admitted light speed was faster than him. Casual pre-skip Guild Arts blitzed light. If you've read the Ice Trail, one of the dudes in it shot a bunch of lasers at Guild Arts, and Guild Arts casually affected all of them before they even moved, like in part in panel. You see all the beams coming in, Guild Arts smiles, and then crushes them. Let's see. I don't want to talk about Goku. They just say it's time for me to go. Now, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream soon. This isn't a long stream. This is like a comfortable Saturday one because I got stuff I gotta do. Well, I think Yami's like 28 or something, isn't he? Yami had a magic energy sword. He needs to get a magic sword, though. Yami Dimension Slashes Guild Arts. Guild Arts he just crushes it. He puts his hand out, crushes the spell. What do you mean? You really and on top of that, like it's a slow linear attack. Guild Arts gets out of the way if he doesn't feel like it. But he's just gonna put out his hand and break it. He can break spells. I already answered the Fairy Heart versus Alderaan thing. I already talked about this. He just goes back in time to when Alderaan is sealed and doesn't let him get unsealed. Let's see. Nami for real put Megumi over Gray and assume. Wait, what? Somebody said something about Gray? Oh, Gray is easily better. Like, putting Sasuke and Megumi over Gray, no thanks. I would put Yuno personally over Megumi. Like, Megumi's cool, but it doesn't have a whole lot to his character. Like, he's got a cool moveset. I would say he's my favorite in Jujutsu Kaisen currently, but he only has, like, a couple chunks, and he's got, like, the one big moment, you know, with his fight against the one curse where he got his domain expansion partial. But, like, outside of that, he hasn't really got a lot of content in the series. And Akutami has spent a lot more time on the villains and then on and then on just having a fair spread of content between a lot of the characters instead of focusing on a lot of the main ones, which is still fine. Like, he doesn't have to put all his attention towards specific ones. But it does feel weird that the main, like, a lot of the main cast doesn't have a lot this far into the series. But anyway, I'm gonna end the stream. You know, this was a short one. We're at like a little over an hour 15 minutes. Just because, I mean, we didn't have a whole lot to talk about in content for the chapters weeks. Next week should be more thick. We're gonna have back to, we'll get Eden Zero back, Fortnite's the Apocalypse, Weekly Shonen Jump and stuff. And that'll be close to the next 100 Years Quest chapter. But anyway, other than that, thank you for the super chats, though. Always appreciate getting donations from you guys. Robert McLennan, always Anime Fan 99. You guys are very much appreciated. And outside of that, I will talk to you guys. If you want to have any more questions, you can at me on Twitter.